Hi, my name is Angela Catena, she, her. I'm the Title IX coordinator at the University of New Mexico. We're going to talk about 5 things to know about the new 2024 Title IX regulations. We'll talk about the current injunctions or halts to the 2024 implementation, alignment with Title VII. We'll also talk about an expansion to reporting requirements, an expansion to protections for pregnancy or related conditions, and new training requirements for the university. Before we jump into all of these new changes, I want to start by giving a quick overview of these new regulations. The last time we had a shift in regulations, it was 4 years ago in 2020. We've been waiting about 2 years for these new regulations to come out. They came out on April 19th of this year, and they went into effect on August 1st, 2024. These are not the regulations that guide sex-separate sports teams and eligibility. That was a set of proposed regulations that the Department of Education put out last year and have since said that they are unlikely going to publish that final rule. These regulations are about 500 pages shorter than the regulations in 2020. These are 1,577 pages in length, and they are not retroactive. So what that means is if we receive a report alleging a Title IX violation that occurred before August 1st, we would still be using our 2020 process to address those concerns. Like I said, there are some injunctions that are going on right now. So there are a few states, or quite a few states, that have halted the implementation of these new regulations and are still operating under the 2020 regulations. As of August 1st, there are 26 states total that have halted the implementation of the new regulations. New Mexico is not one of those states, and UNM is not affected by the current injunction. Title IX is now aligning much more with Title VII, which is a civil rights law for employment protections. Prior to 2020, Title IX and Title VII aligned much more. And so we are now seeing a return to that alignment, specifically with the definition of sexual harassment. In 2020, Title IX changed the definition of sexual harassment from conduct of a sexual nature that is unwelcomed and has to be severe or pervasive to something that has to be severe and pervasive. And so Title IX limited the scope on the different types of sex-based behaviors that would fall under sexual harassment. These current regulations, the 2024 regulations, bring us back to the severe or pervasive standard that aligns with Title VII. Additionally, Title IX has explicitly stated that sexual orientation and gender identity are protected under Title IX as forms of sex-based discrimination. This follows the Bostock opinion that also says that discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity are prohibited under employment for Title VII. The reporting requirements for UNM haven't changed drastically. What has happened instead is the Department of Education has identified specific roles, professional roles that are now required to report and providing less flexibility there. Historically, individuals who hold a leadership or administrative role have always been required to report. Now the Department of Education is also saying individuals with teaching and advising responsibilities are required to report. UNM has maintained a best practice of requiring all employees, with the exception of confidential employees, to report. That is continuing. One area where reporting has expanded is with class discussions and assignments. Historically, if there was a disclosure that was made in an assignment or a class discussion that was not required to be reported, that is now required to be reported by Title IX. Another area that has expanded under these current regulations are protections for pregnancy or related conditions. And these protections are focused specifically on students to get students up to the same level of protections that's already existing for pregnant and parenting employees. So pregnancy or related conditions include pregnancy, childbirth, termination, lactation, and related medical conditions. CO has created a pregnancy manual as a guide to support UNM in supporting our pregnant students, staff, and faculty in navigating and offering accommodations and adjustments. One requirement under Title IX is when a student discloses that they are pregnant to any UNM employee, that employee must provide them with information about how Title IX protects them. CO has also created a pregnancy pamphlet that staff and faculty can provide to students when they disclose their pregnancy, so then they know their rights and responsibilities. These are all available on the CO website for you to review, download, and use as it's helpful for you. We also ask that any accommodations or adjustments that are made be documented with CO so then we can ensure if there are any concerns or any additional needs, we're able to support in those ways. The last area that we're going to talk about is training requirement, which is really new for Title IX. In the past, Title IX has required that institutions offer annual training. We have always had the best practice of offering an annual training, and now institutions are required to complete that training, not just offer it. And so we are no longer going to be offering an exemption to the training. Instead, we will have an alternate training if the one that we offer is too triggering for individuals. This requirement goes into effect next year, so we have a little bit of time before this training requirement goes into place. So then annually, we will be required to take this training, and within the first 30 days of an employee being hired on at the institution. There will be more information coming out about this as we approach the deadline next year. So just a quick recap, the 2024 Title IX regulations went into effect on August 1st. There are 26 states where they did not go into effect. New Mexico is not one of those states. These new regulations are aligning much more with Title VII, particularly by protecting sexual orientation and gender identity, and also expanding the definition of sexual harassment to now align with Title VII. There's an expansion to reporting requirements, and there's more protection for pregnancy or related conditions, and there's now a requirement to complete training on an annual basis. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about these new Title IX regulations, please visit the website, ceeo.unm.edu, or email me at any time. Thank you so much.